What? Why are you shaking your head?
You're welcome. What is up? Welcome to Hump Day with Hansen. I'm Hansen, and it's Hump Day. It's Wednesday. What is up? Coming out of week number 4, and we're ready for week number 5, and that's kind of what this broadcast live stream is all about. It's maybe transitioning, if you will, from the week that was to the week that will be, basically. And as I try to tweet out a link to this to get the people on here. Let me do that. And why is it that every time I try and write live, I fat finger it and I write love? It's a little annoying, but we do have data now through 4 weeks from 2024. So I'm going to open up this little live stream here. I don't want to make it all about just answering questions, because then it's not really helping out everybody. Maybe half the people. We can address both sides of lineup questions and all that. But week 5 schematic matchups here. I'm going to roll out a very early look, and then I'll go and open up the questioning here. So let me just tweet this out here. I didn't fat finger it live now, blah, blah, blah. I'm so terrible on multitasking when it comes to tweeting because I fat finger a lot. And, I'm so worried always worried about tweeting out the typo or something stupid. But anyway, our guy Tommy T is on the other side of the glass producing this here program. And without any further ado, let's get into it. But first, let me just give a shout out to the entire team at FantasyPoints and FantasyPoints data. I just mentioned that now through 4 weeks we actually have a month worth of data. It's about the minimum that we can actually use. But obviously the good news going forward is we'll have this for the rest of the way. But just a tremendous job by everyone here on staff. Absolutely crushed it with the hashtag analysis. If you read Hansen's hints, I hope you do, because I only spent about 38 hours a week on it. The thing was tight. Money. My top 20 props, I've been a little bit more into the props this year, went 18-2. I know our guy Ryan crushed it. It was just a great week. So I'm hoping that we can keep it going and making sure we're not getting cocky and arrogant, although it's hard not to after last week. But we know how hard this can be. This will start getting a little harder. I have to believe. Maybe once the books make their adjustments on some of these lines, the salaries in DFS, but man, so far I think it's been pretty damn good. So real quick, it's gonna take a little while, so I don't want to annoy people who are waiting to get their questions answered, but I do have a very early look. I went through them all, early schematic matchups, in terms, real quick, I'll go through it. Tampa at Atlanta kicks us off tomorrow night, and it's not looking like a great schematic matchup really for anyone. Cade Otton, perhaps. The schematic matchups for tight end I don't think are as accurate and actionable as the receivers, but for what it's worth, he popped on the screen there. And then where's my Ray McLeod prop, DraftKings? Where's it at? Where you at, brah? Because I would go in on that one all day long, because he actually has a pretty good schematic matchup. But you know what? They're scared. They're scared. They don't want to put him on the board because they know we're going to crush it and get it right and take their money. Not even on here, man. Come on. I did hit Ray McLeod as a Monday night special, I believe, a couple of weeks ago. Maybe it was a Thursday night. I can't even remember at this point already. But no Ray McLeod, but he does have a good schematic matchup for what it's worth. Kyle Pitts, the absolute Pitts, and part of that is usage. Part of that is him, I think, being a little soft. Quite frankly, they're not using him right. He's not probably helping out much. I just wonder if Kirk Cousins even has any confidence throwing to the guy. I know Kirky was kind of ripping him a little bit in the preseason. He's like, bruh, can you go after that ball or nah? You know what I mean? Not aggressively going after the football and getting it. You know what I mean? Like contested catches and all that. He's getting out muscled out there a lot. Moving on. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to get a ton of points here in this one. The Thursday night thing, all that. So, not great. Moving on here. Jets, Vikings. It's a Sam Darnold revenge game. It's actually a pretty good schematic matchup here per the data for Sammy Darnold. Obviously, individually, it's a tough matchup for their wideouts against DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner. Aaron Rodgers actually has a pretty good schematic matchup as well, believe it or not. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a little more scoring than we would expect here. Now, again, it's a London game. It's at 9:30 a.m. local. Really, players will hopefully their bodies will be adjusted by then. Nothing great schematic. Although, hey, actually, it is. Justin Jefferson, not a horrible schematic matchup. So. And by the way, based on alignment numbers, Jordan Addison will see more of Sauce Gardner based on alignment numbers. So just FYI. And they don't travel, these guys. And that's one of the benefits of having two really good corners on the outside and the aforementioned DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner. You also have Michael Carter in there as your nickel, and he's pretty good. So maybe a little bit more pointage than expected, but certainly a tougher matchup overall. It's not like I'm expecting Addison, for example, to go off. Also, a Tyler Conklin revenge game, and I believe the data on him was pretty decent here. No, actually, we don't have anything here on Tyler Conklin. I lost the spot there. Actually, I pasted in the damn Giants. Hold on a second. Let's take a look here. I could have sworn I saw it was a good Tyler Conklin one. And Tyler Conklin's underwhelmed. But hey, he's definitely shown signs of life the last 2 weeks. I did win a prop with him last week over 2.5. I was worried, but he hit it. Got 4 grabs. Yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah. Look at this. Tyler Conklin revenge game across the pond. I can see it. I can absolutely see that. And then what else do we have? Yeah, that's it. Schematically, we're not talking running games here at this point. Carolina Panthers at Chicago Bears. Not a plus schematic matchup for either quarterback. Nothing really popping here, honestly. So maybe not a bonanza here. I did notice that DJ Reed, going to see a lot of JC Horn, or DJ Moore, going to see a lot of JC Horn. That not that they travel, but that's pretty damn good. But I don't know, man. Maybe we don't get a huge, massive Deontay Johnson game this week, although I do believe he'll be able to avoid Jalen Johnson, who's awesome. Baltimore at Cleveland. It's a plus matchup, barely, but hey, better than a -1 for Burrow, and probably a -1 for Lamar. As we look into the data, I mean, plus matchup for Mark Andrews, but like, geez, I don't know what in the wide world of sports we do with Mark Andrews other than benching him. I mean, at this point, at the very least, not like Isaiah Likely is crushing it either. I like Likely last week in a prop, and he lost it by like 2 damn yards. I could have gone like, with a little luck and a few yards here and there, I lost maybe 4 close ones. I could have gone like 25-4 or something like that on the propage last week. It was still very good, but I'm still waiting and fantasizing about having, like a 25-0 week or 25-1. That'd be nice. I've had a couple really good ones. Anyway, back to the analysis. Good schematic matchup for Jamar Chase in this one. So I think the Bengals will be good. They'll be in good shape in this one. And then maybe a little bit more Zay Flowers because it is technically a plus schematic matchup for him. He's kind of very game script dependent the last 2 weeks. They've been kicking ass, and they haven't really needed Zay Flowers, but they will, I believe, in this one against a good offense in Cincinnati, although their defense stinks. Maybe Derrick Henry can run all over them, but I think they're more vulnerable on the back end. Buffalo at Houston. Negative schematic matchup for Josh Allen, though a positive one for CJ Stroud. Remember, he's Mr. Zone Beater. So I think Stroud will probably have another good game. And, Nico Collins is balling and rolling. It's a plus schematic matchup for him. And a Stephon Diggs revenge game. A lot of revenge games this week, and I think it's a good matchup there as well. Now, negative matchup for my guy, Khalil Shakir. So we'll see about that one there, but I'm not worried about it. By the way, when he's inside, he'll see Jalen Petrie, and that was a good matchup. I loved Christian Kirk this past week and everything, and he crushed against mostly Petrie. And then moving on to the Colts and Jaguars. We'll see about Anthony Richardson. I did see an Anthony Richardson question in there. And again, Trevor Lawrence has been very predictable per the data. Not that I backed him strongly last week because he's hard to back in general, but I did like Thomas and Kirk because of the positive schematic matchup there for Lawrence. And he's got another one here. Probably a lot of too high, a lot of zone. He does well against that. So I think we're looking pretty good. Christian Kirk actually doesn't have a positive schematic matchup here, though. Brian Thomas does. So for what it's worth. And you know what? It's not going to be a Kirk day this week, unfortunately, because he will see a lot of Hilton. And I'm a Marriott guy, but Hilton is pretty good. Let's take a look here what he's given up on a per route basis. Actually, not Hilton. I got that wrong. Kenny Moore. My bad, dog. I always confuse Kenny Moore and Hilton because they're kind of similar. But actually, Kenny Moore's getting beat a little bit this year. I still like Kenny Moore though. 0.31. Yeah, Hilton moved on to Cincy. What's he giving up? Buppity bop. What is Hilton giving up? Mike Hilton. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, only 1.17. Anywho, not the greatest matchup overall there for Christian Kirk. So, by the way, good schematic matchup, I believe, for the tight end. So we'll see about Evan Ingram. We'll see about Evan Ingram in this one. And then moving on to Miami and New England, I think we can probably ignore Miami. I mean, it's a moot point. It's doesn't matter. Because they don't have a passing game. I mean, I love Mike McDaniel like everybody else. I actually had a very long encounter with Mike McDaniel. It was hysterical about Tyreek Hill. I've told this story on Sirius XM, but when he first took that job, he was talking up Tyreek Hill. And for fantasy, he was like literally giving out fantasy analysis. Not Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. My bad, Jalen Waddle. It's before the Tyreek trade, actually. And so, he was just getting done an interview there at Sirius when I was obviously working there and in the booth. And I just yelled, I was like, yo, coach, can you stop pumping up Waddle? And he was like, I startled him. And then he's like, Mr. I don't know, ADD or something, man. He went right to me and he was like focused on me. And he was like, hi, I'm Mike McDaniel. I'm like, yeah, I know, dude. Very, very great guy to interact with. Fascinating guy. He was fascinated by my complaint to him. And I was kind of joking, by the way. I was like, dude, you're going to put me out of a job. You keep telling people who to draft in fantasy. Awesome dude. But, very disappointed in how they've handled this post-Tua situation. I mean, I know they like Skylar Thompson. They kind of rallied around him. But, dude, I know he knows your system, but he was not ready for prime time. You did not have a plan without Tua. I mean, you just didn't. It's obvious now. By the way, I was out there 2 weeks ago, like sounding alarms saying, sell, sell, sell. I got mocked on Twitter because we published, I think 2 weeks ago, a couple of names I just threw out there in terms of viable options. Like, I don't know, Ramondre, I think it was like ETN. People mocked me. People called me an idiot. And look, bruh, go check out your league leaders since you tweeted me. Tyreek's like wide receiver 66, and you're losing You're dying like a dog with Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. That said, I might be ready to buy. It's gotten that depressed, if you will, the asset that I am ready to buy. And, I'm not going to get insensitive here. I don't want to be insensitive. I'm just trying to predict what I think will happen. And I think Tua's coming back, basically, because it's that bad. He's a football player. He's a warrior. I mean, if it were me, I would do it. I understand that it's politically incorrect to say that, I guess. Don't care. Bottom line, if I'm a football player / gladiator in that locker room with all those other dudes who are counting on me, you're damn right I'm going out there and playing. So I think Tua will. Anyway.
I believe they mentioned about week 8 is what I've seen, that he should be back around week 8 if people are wondering if they should be buying.
What do you think, Tommy?
Oh, I've already been buying.
Season long.
Oh, yeah. I've already been buying. Gimme.
Right.
Go send.
Were you selling? Were you selling 2 weeks ago though? Sell.
That's the crux of fantasy. You sell and you buy like stocks. But I've been trading away the fake value wide receivers like Wan'Dale Robinson to go and get guys like Tyreek, and then when Tyreek comes back, you've got your wide receiver 1. That's how you win, baby.
Don't be ripping Wan'Dale though. That's my bruh. That's my guy right there. I love me some Wan'Dale Robinson. I know it's a little bit of a joke, and I've actually been joking about it myself all year, correctly joking about it. What did I say last week? I said, dude's catching 9 balls, and then I joke around for 26. What did he catch? I mean, didn't he catch 9? I mean, it's unbelievable. Like, I mean, he is good. He's a great kid, by the way, for what it's worth. I know people get annoyed by that, but he came on the Sirius XM show. I was like, man, I love this guy. Awesome dude. Always a correlation, not always. Mostly there's a correlation between the dude and them being good at football. Oh, he caught 11. Damn, my bad. 11. And he got 71. Anyways, yeah, with Tua, we got 2 more weeks. They do have the bye, which actually I think is somewhat fortuitous. So let's take a look here at that schedule. So obviously they're out this week. That will be game 3. Then it's a bye in week 6. Then week 7. Yeah, exactly. So it seems like a long time. Oh my God, he's out till week 8. Oh God, no, it's 2 more games. That's it. 2 more games. Tyreek and them guys probably aren't going to do much against New England. They'll know to put the clamps down on big plays, basically. So maybe Tyreek can catch some balls here, but man, it's brutal. I mean, it's just such a bad look that you fall off that much. You go from one of the most deadly offenses in the league to the worst offense in the league. Like, I understand your starting quarterback is the most important player, but geez, you got to have a little bit of a better of a backup plan there. Anyways, and do we even care about the schematic matchups at this point for the Patriots? Maybe we should. It looks like a good one for Hunter, or for the tight ends. It is Austin Hooper and Hunter Henry for what it's worth. I mean, Jalen Polk, I know he's popping. He looks good. Great ass. But I mean, it's still a little bit of a moot point. But maybe we get a little Drake May, and maybe there's a thing there. That's what you're always looking for. Like, who is Drake May's guy? I didn't get a feel for it in the preseason, honestly. But maybe Jalen Polk, maybe Demario Douglas, although he has got a negative schematic matchup. Cleveland at the Commandos. Certainly this looks like a pretty good schematic matchup for the 2 quarterbacks. Nothing great, but positive, or at least neutral. And then for Deshaun, it is a good matchup. Can you get the ball to Amari Cooper? We'll see. Pretty good schematic matchup for Terry McLaurin, probably because they play a lot of man, and he beats man. But the individual men that he'll be up against, like Ward and Emerson, are pretty good. But hey, McLaurin's getting it done lately. Feel pretty good about it. Raiders Broncos, actually a pretty good matchup for Gardner Minshew. And it's a good matchup for Bo Nix. I mean, we've got enough data now to show, okay, we're okay with Bo Nix. So I think the schematical matchup pops for Josh Reynolds, FYI. But I mean, you got to look at Sutton. I mean, Sutton, I wasn't into him at all, but he's pretty good in that, like, he's the only game in town. He's the only one doing a damn thing. We correctly lowered the expectations last week for Brock Bowers, but the matchup here looks okay. I'd be a little worried about it, but hey, I'd be more worried about Devontae Adams, who does have a good schematic matchup, but who knows what the deal is with Devontae Adams. Are we forcing our way out? And then we're going to get Jacoby Myers, forget it. So Brock Bowers is going to have to catch the ball because Jacoby Myers is not doing crap. So it could actually be another week to consider Trey Tucker. Jacoby Myers not doing crap because we are projecting a shadow situation there with Pat Surtain. Obviously, that would change if Devontae is active for the game. Arizona at San Fran. I'm so sick and tired of Kyler Murray. By the way, I'm done. I mean, good luck. Good luck. You just never know. Although you should have an inkling based on the data, and this is a good data week, FYI. But man, it's just so annoying. Last week you should have expected big things, and you didn't get it. It's just like you just never know. Basically, if he hits those big plays downfield to Harrison, you're good. If not, you're not good. I mean, I know he's running this year, but he didn't run last week. But yeah, I'm just sick of it in general. He's not very predictable, and I think it's not necessarily his fault. He's short. That's it. I mean, hashtag analysis. He's too damn short to see over the line. I asked Rich Gannon about it the other day, and Rich is like, I'm 6'3", and I had trouble seeing over the line 20 years ago. So it's a real challenge for Kyler Murray.
Here's a bit of fun Kyler Murray information. We know that opening scripts of a drive are roughly the first 15 plays.
Yeah.
For the opening 15 plays in the 4 games this season, Kyler Murray is 22 of 27 for 290 yards, 5 touchdowns, a sack, and 5 scrambles. On all other dropbacks, he's 56 of 88 for 530, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and 9 sacks.
There you go.
With 5 scrambles.
I think
outside of opening script, he has been unusable.
Yeah. I mean, I believe that speaks to what I just said. You know, you want to script out a whole game. You can't do it. You can't do it because obviously the game scenario, so many different things happen on one play that you're constantly adjusting. So you can't script out a whole damn game. I mean, you're lucky you could script out 15 damn plays. But I think that does speak to my point. So it's just randomness. Absolute randomness, and I do not like randomness. I want to be predictive. I love being predictive. That's why I'm here. I mean, honestly, I'm annoying in real life, by the way, because to my family, because I don't just predict sports. I predict other things. I predict politics. And by the way, FYI, always right. I wrote a term paper in 1981 on politics, and I was 100% correct. I won't get into the specifics, but I love being predictive, and I hate when I can't be predictive, and that's why I'm hating on Kyler Murray at this juncture. It is, though, a good schematic matchup this week, and jogging the old memory bank, I seem to recall him doing well in this matchup. And then you've got a pretty good matchup here for Marvin Harrison. So, and negative schematic matchup for Trey McBride. We'll see if he returns. You know, I liked Michael Wilson last week. I give up. I mean, I think he's good. But again, the randomness of Kyler Murray's game is just too much. It's too much. So I'm going to probably just maybe not ignore his existence, Michael Wilson, but you know, it's too big of a reach at this point. Good schematic matchup again for the Niner guys. So we're looking pretty good here. Although maybe not for Juwan Jennings. It looks like a Kittle, Debo game with a little Ayuk mixed in there. Green Bay at the Rams. Not the best schematic matchup for Jordan Love, and not the greatest one for Stafford. But I mean, Love I think is matchup proof. And nothing looks great here. So I don't know. Maybe we get a little bit more running this week. Nothing looks great for the Green Bay receivers and Love. And then nothing. Well, it does look good for Demarcus Robinson for what it's worth. Not that we're using him, and Colby Parkinson for what it's worth. Not good for Tutu. But how about Jordan Love, baby? How about my guy? He threw 3 picks and was still the QB1 for the week. I hope you traded for him. I hope you drafted him, and I hope you traded for him. Honestly, I'm feeling good about my selection of Jordan Love as my top quarterback to target and Jake Ferguson, because I do believe that there is a chance that both of those dudes lead their position. I mean, Jordan Love right now is the QB1 in points per game. And Ferguson right now, I saw in terms of expected fantasy points, he's top 3 right now. So we're looking good. And this is not to go off on a tangent, but this is what it's all about. This is what I'm trying to do every year. And I did say it a lot this summer, like your best chance to form the best starting lineup is to wait on QB and tight end. And of course, not only wait, you got to hit the picks. And Love and Ferguson were the ticket. And I just took them every time, just about 80% of the time in the draft plan article. And I'm feeling good here, because if you also drafted really well rounds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I mean, you're killing. You are destroying people out there, and you will be destroying people out there if you have that going forward. Giants, Seahawks. I was surprised to see the data not come in positively for Geno Smith. I think the Giants do play a good amount of man, but I think Geno's almost matchup proof at this point. Good schematic matchup here for Daniel Dimes. Not the greatest for Neighbors. We'll see about him. My guy Wandale probably catch another 5-6 balls for sure. And then good matchup. Actually not for DK. Wow, I'm a little surprised by this. But I'm still liking DK Metcalf. He'll see a lot of Cordell Flott. And hey, JSN. Look, I mean, just put him in as a lower end 3, basically, and that's it. Don't expect anything more than wide receiver 35 production, basically, or wide receiver 30, something like that. And you could probably just roll with them every week. But I mean, he's not going to crush, because they still like Lockett. Look at Lockett last week. I did actually go with a prop of his, and he won it. He hit it. He was better. He was back. Dallas at Pittsburgh. Not the greatest schematic matchup for anyone, although Brandon Cooks jumps off the page. My guy Ferguson, not bad. We're not going to get the Cowboys with DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons. So I think Najee Harris. It's Najee Harris time. We'll see about Jalen Warren. I think Najee is a guy to trade for. I know their O-line's been beat up and I know he's been terrible. I know that. But again, he's been terrible for early in the year, 2 years in a row. This is 3 in a row. Go back and look at last year's data. He sucked. For some reason, they just can't get that damn running game going until, I guess, the weather gets colder. You're going to get Isaac Seumalo back, I believe, this week there at guard, so that will help. For the Steelers, hey, how about Freiermuth? It's a good schematic matchup for Freiermuth, so he might get it done again. Saints, Chiefs. Not the greatest schematic matchup for anyone here. Not loving it. Rashid Shaheed, they play man, so it's not a good Shaheed week. Yeah. And then who knows about KC? So there it is. Wow, how long did that take? 28 minutes. All right. Let's take a look at some questions, and the questioning. Where we go here? At the top of the old ones? Yeah. Okay. Top ones of the old man. Dan was there early. He was there like an hour and a half before. I was probably asleep when Dan posted this message. 1 point PPR, looking to trade for Deontay Johnson, Reed, or Olave. How would you rank them for the rest of the year? I mean, geez, Jaden Reed is just unbelievable. Mr. Debo. I mean, I'd have to go Reed. Man, that's a close one between Deontay and Olave. I'll go Deontay. Man, that's a tough one, man. That's really close, Deontay and Olave, but I think I trust Andy Dalton more than Derek Carr. Steve, where's my mouse? Steve asked the question here. Hump Day with Hansen. I'm Hansen here on a Wednesday. Where'd Steve go? There he goes. Oh, whoop, Steve. All right. For this week, would you play Kareem Hunt or Justice Hill over Mooney in the flex? Well, I mean, Kareem Hunt was my top waiver wire pickup, and I did see a report after I put him there that he's probably going to start this week. I mean, Justice Hill does have a chance against Cincinnati. I went and I looked there. He's, I think, fourth in running back target share. It's pretty good, but he also is a little game script dependent. Of course, this week against Cincinnati, it's a good spot. But no, I just go Hunt, man. Because we just said it's not a great schematic matchup. So I don't know if Mahomes crushes in this one. So you're probably just going to hand the ball off. Next up, we've got Bob. Good morning. Have to play Roshan Johnson this week due to the bye. Should I pick up Javonte Williams to play him or hold on to Roshan? Nobody else to drop. I mean, I haven't done rankings yet, but Javonte did actually have probably the best game of the season. He does have the Raiders this week. That's a good matchup. So I would go Javonte. I mean, still upset about Javonte looking like a freaking shell of his former self. Thanks, Nate Hackett, you big dope. 5.4 yards per carry. I love calling people like Nate Hackett dopes because you know why? I'm a respect your elder type of person. I always have been, actually. But I'm older than Nate Hackett, okay? Barely. So I call him, you're a dope, Nate Hackett. That's right. I'm older than you. I've been on the earth a lot longer than you, and you are, in fact, an idiot. And I don't think anyone really disputes that. You know more football than I do, but you're still an idiot. That's possible. You can possibly know more football than me and still be an idiot, believe it or not. Yeah, and that's Nate Hackett. I do blame him for that Javonte injury, but they are giving up 5.4 yards a carry. Running backs are getting 21. Yeah, I think Javonte is looking pretty good. Let's go next up to Bob Steve. Hurting at running back. Perine, Emmanuel Wilson, and Trey Sermon. Well, we don't know about. I mean, I pencil in Trey Sermon because maybe Johnny Taylor misses a week or two. Not going to put him on IR. And I think I'd use Wilson over Perine because it's kind of evolved. It's kind of a committee with Josh Jacobs. I'm going to take a look at what Emmanuel Wilson is. I bet you he's averaging 9 touches a game the last 3 weeks. Let's take a look. 7.3. Okay, well, he's averaging 8.3 opportunities a game, so close. 7.3 carries per game through 4 weeks, and then a catch a game. So yeah, Emmanuel Wilson, and he's averaging 4.6 yards a carry, and they're giving up 4.8. So yeah, I'm going to go with Wilson there. Steve's got another one. Would you put in Shakir or Mooney over any of these 4? Kirk, Pickens, Flowers, Godwin. Nope. No, I would not. Milio, in one league, would you start Love or Daniel? I think you start Daniels over Love, honestly, as much as I love Love for this week. And the flex, Whittington or Chase Brown. Yeah, I'm going to go Brown there. Still don't totally trust Whittington. Would you start Trey Sermon or Dontavian Wicks? Probably Sermon, if Taylor's out, of course. If Taylor's out, Dylan, Sermon or Swift? Freaking Swift. Oh man, Swift is an absolute anti-Gurite. I ripped him a new one last week. I'm sure I wasn't the only one, and he got wind of it and he balled out somehow. Still averaging only 3 yards a carry, though. That's sad. But, man, Carolina, they stink stopping the run. So you got to go Swift. They suck. All kinds of yards before contact. They suck, Carolina. I don't know what happened to their defense. Steve asks, how should we view Zay Flowers for the rest of the season? Feels like he's a decoy out there. Yeah, I wouldn't go that far, but he's definitely game script dependent. If they can just hand the damn ball off to Henry, they will. So knock him down your depth chart. I didn't like him this year. He wasn't on my list, even though I loved him as a prospect coming out. I'm a little underwhelmed, and it's been much of the same. But this is a week you can use him. Again, that's what I say. You drafted him as your 2. Now you move him down your depth chart. Maybe you also took Khalil Shakir. Well, now Khalil Shakir is now your 2, and Flowers is your 3. And this way, at the very least, lower your expectations. Like at this point, just give me double-digit points, dude, with Zay Flowers. I'll be happy with it. But, he should get it done this week against Cincinnati. Let's go next to Dan. Needs one out of Leggett, Dowdle, Chase Brown, or Sermon. Boy, I mean, we'll see. We'll see about Johnny Taylor. Let's see that. Jacksonville's actually been pretty good against the run, but you probably get volume this week if you're the Colts. Let's take a look. Yeah, they're only giving up 3.7 yards a pop, or the Jacks. So you get volume though. You get 25 carries, 22 carries a game against them. So yeah, I would go with Sermon, but if Taylor was active, then I would go with Leggett. I mean, Leggett is looking good, man. Whew. Big dude. I stood right next to him for a minute in Indy. I couldn't believe how I'm telling you, the guy's like this wide. Like he is. I once sat behind LL Cool J decades ago, actually, at a Roy Jones fight in LA. I was directly behind LL Cool J, and I was in like the cool area, I guess, with a bunch of celebs, and Natalie Cole. Right, I mean, like a foot away, like right in front of me. And I'm telling you, LL Cool J was 6 feet wide. His upper body, I mean, I was like, geez, I can't even see the fight. I'm behind LL Cool J. Anyway, that's what Leggett was remind me of. Massive torso, massive upper body. I couldn't believe how big he was. What's up, Mark Farmer? Hi, Johnny. And that old man, Mr. C voice. Okay, I got you. You know what that voice, it sounds like he's got peanut butter stuck in the roof of his mouth. He's like, hi, Johnny. Mark Farmer asked, stock watch for Anthony Richardson and Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I'm not feeling good about either one of them, especially Mahomes. Just not feeling it. That Hollywood Brown injury is going to be a real problem, and not having Hollywood Brown around. Now we're back to the old skank. It's not good. It's not good. I also think Matt Nagy still stinks. He still stinks. Let's go next up here to Shiraz. Good morning. Been offered a trade. I would give Metcalf for Garrett Wilson and Bucky Irving. My wide receivers are Metcalf, McLaurin, Devontae, Khalil, James. No, I don't. Yeah, I mean, running backs. Well, you're a little light at running back. Okay. Garrett Wilson is tough because, man, he has been a marked man. And it's not like they're worthless around him. Like Lazard's done a couple good things. Mike Williams, got to get some pressure off this guy. It's getting a little ridiculous here. I mean, I don't know who else you have at running back. Like, if you have nothing at RB3, okay, I'd be all right with that to get Bucky Irving. He's looking good. I think he's probably carved out like 50% of the backfield at least. Buddy Guy, that's not a real name, right? Buddy Guy, what's your middle name, fella? Oh, there it is. My last name is in fact fella. I actually didn't even read that. I must have said that last week. Which side of this trade do you like? Anthony Richardson, McLaurin, Bowers, or Mayfield, Godwin, Andrews? Ooh, wow. That is a good one. I probably have to lean to the Richardson side, honestly, because just be available. Don't completely suck as a passer, Anthony Richardson, and you'll be all right. I mean, I don't know if we'll get there, but that's it. That's the criteria we need. Anthony Richardson, when you throw a football, just don't completely suck ass. and then we're all right. But unfortunately, you have in fact done that thus far. Let's go to Will. Hope all is well with you and your people. It is going well. I mean, things are fine. I am getting a new roof on my house, I will say. I'm not messing around with it. The roof is 19 years old. I lost a bunch of shingles, maybe 50. So that tells me, you know what? I ain't messing around. So I am getting a brand new roof thanks to the freaking hurricane. Helena, whatever the hell her name, that biatch is. Will asks, yeah, we are well. Looking to trade away Fields, has Lamar. Who would be a good wide receiver or running back to target? All right, so it's a good one. What kind of running back can you get for Fields? Who, certainly this is a good time to do it. By the way, coming off a blow up spot. How about Jonathan Brooks? That'd be interesting. I think, how about Zach Moss? It's pretty good. Chase Brown, they clearly have pass protection concerns there. So Moss, I bet you Moss is getting on average 3.2 targets a game. I'm going to look it up right now. And you convert 1 to 2 of those, 1.5, 3.8. All right, pretty good guess. And he's catching 3 of them. So, I mean, the dude is averaging 5.4 points a game in the passing game, which is pretty good. And in the running game, he's averaging like 9. So my man's at 14.6. So that's a good one. Let me give you one more here. You're trading away Justin Fields, borderline QB1, Dave Montgomery. That'd be great. I mean, maybe Joe Mixon, on ETN, there's some concerns there. Yeah, there you go. Indira. CEH. Can we please avoid it? I know. I please. CEH hasn't been good in 3 years. I liked him. Was it 2 years ago? I can't even remember. It was all there for him. Everything was there for him. And may have even been last year, for God's sakes. And geez, I got to look that up now. I tried to block it out, and he was good for 5 weeks. He was good, and then he wasn't. I guess that was last year. I can't do it. I mean, there's something else going on with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, personal. There's definitely something else going on with him. Yeah, he scored. Yeah, that was last. Jeez, that was no. Okay, thank God, that was 2022. All right, good. Yeah, 2022. I actually kind of liked him. He scored two receiving touchdowns week 1. Week 2, he had a big game. Week 3, he wasn't great, but he got like 9 points. Week 4, big game, 2 tutties. I'm like, all right, through week 4, we're good. And then he fell off a cliff. That was it. Never hasn't been good since. So sometimes it's these are human beings, and like there's other things going on in their lives that preclude them from putting their best foot forward. I mean, that would be my contention on CEH. Although also we did oversell him a little bit coming out of LSU. Doesn't have much in terms of natural strength, power to push the pile, and he's actually not quite as dynamic as we would have hoped for. So I can't say really anything positive about him. I mean, I had to go with one of them. I mean, I'm going Hunt over CEH. I mean, Hunt's produced, obviously. Is Kyle Pitts droppable? Jeez. Yeah, he is, but I'd rather not. I mean, I'm not going to do it. I mean, he is, but I'd rather not. I can't do it. On the chance that something changes, usage, I don't know. You can't do it. It's one of the biggest busts in history, though, thus far. Indira, Pittman, Downs, Atwell, Braylon, Allen, PPR flex. What are we talking about this week? I'd go Pittman over Downs for now. I mean, Pittman. Indira asked Burrow or Baker. I'm going to go Burrow. Purdy over Burrow. I'm going to go Burrow in both cases. Rims and Tims calls me Playboy again, which is always fun. So glad to see you're safe. Yep, I'm safe. Willie says I'm the real MVP. No, that's not true. Early bird subscriber, is Wicks a must start over guys like Olave and more? I'm gonna go. That's week to week. If he makes another big play this week and he's locked into a good role, I might say yes, but we're not there yet, and it is this week, particularly not the greatest schematic matchup, but we're looking good. I mean, I'm certainly going over Romeo Dobbs with Wicks. I mean, I love Dobbs. I like Dobbs. I mean, if you listen to SiriusXM that year, as soon as he was drafted by the Packers, we immediately equated him to Devontae Adams, and I was all in, and he was good. But again, he's a little boring. Good player though, a little boring. But Wicks is a little bit more of a needle mover. I mean, he even though Dobbs gets red zone love and downfield love, like Wicks is just a little more dynamic. Pumpkin fishing, mishearing me on Fantasy Football Morning. I know. I don't miss getting up at 6 in the morning every day, but I am on there 3 days a week. So I'm on there quite a bit. At the end of the show, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Darnold or Goff from the early bird subscriber, that would be Darnold. Good schematic matchup this week. Cousins or the Red Rifle. I actually did early rankings in preparation for this. So let's take a look. It's probably going to be the Red Rifle, and it is. Don't love either. Short week for Kirky. Don't like that. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Red Rifle. Oh, yeah, Goff's on a bye. There you go. Good call, though. Goff over Darnold. Next up, 444 Stevens. Are we at the point where I have to start? Yeah. Wow. Wicks over Wilson. We are kind of at the time of the year where we've got 4 games in the books. Weeks 1, 2, we kind of draft, or we proceed from our draft. Like we took Wilson in the first freaking round or top of the second. So yeah, we're using him. But now 4 frustrating weeks in a row, we can maybe forget about the name on the back of the jersey a little bit and actually go where the production is going. Let me see exactly how bad Wilson, because I actually didn't get Wilson anywhere, and I liked him, definitely liked him. Didn't get him anywhere though, unfortunately. Or fortunately, I guess. Let's see what he's actually. I'm going to guess he's producing. I swear to God, I haven't looked. 12.1 points a game. No, 11.7. I'll go. Oh, 11.2. Not bad. Not bad. 5 grabs, 47. He's got 1 tutty. They are giving up 17 catches a game to wide receivers. So I'm going to go no this week. I am going Garrett Wilson. I have a feeling pretty good schematic matchup for Aaron Rodgers. You'll see a little bit of Stephon Gilmore. They may travel Stephon Gilmore, but I mean, it's not like it's not peak Stephon Gilmore. So I'm going to go with Wilson this week. We got a Kyler or Fields question. Freaking Kyler. I got him neck and neck, of course. I'm going Kyler. For some reason, the Niners schematic matchup is a good one for Kyler. Let me see what he did against them last year. I bet he did surprisingly well. Okay, not great, but he did complete 66% of his passes. 67. Of course, the YPA was poor. Did throw it a lot. He did run a lot. So, yeah, I guess that's what it is. He runs a lot against them. 6 carries for 49 in his last game. Yeah. Yeah, but we do show it being a good schematic matchup. And I can see it. I definitely remember I'm only going back to last year, by the way. So I'm probably conjuring up games from like 2022 or 2021, whatever. But when I do look at these, when I look at any history, I don't go back any further than 1 year. Too many things change, and I don't even often hang my hat on that 1 year. Greg My dream is that Devontae Adams to the Jets and DC gets Garrett Wilson. Well, you're not getting Garrett Wilson, DC, but Devontae Adams you might get. Let's go to Gabe. Who should I sell in my dynasty team? This is a Thomas question. Richardson, Shaheed, Ramondre, Garrett, Amon Ra, McLaurin, McBride, Charbonnet, Chubb. I'm okay. I'm okay selling Richardson, but that's low, right, Thomas?
Yeah, so here's the problem with the question like this is not knowing the format, start how many, and all the details of your roster, like are you winning, losing, etc. The first thing I'm looking at is I'm getting rid of the running back. So if I'm looking to sell because my team is underperforming, I'm looking to sell first by running backs, then by aging wide receivers, and then I start if it's a 1 QB, trying to tear down from quarterback to add. So to me, this is wait for Chubb to play, move him. Mr. Carbonnet.
I was going to say Ramondre.
Ramondre, Charbonnet, and Chubb are players that I'm looking to get rid of, but I'm not selling Chubb till he plays. The second he steps on the field, you'll be able to get more for him. Then you can look at selling your aging wide receiver in McLaurin, and then I'm just not moving Garrett or Amon-Ra because there's no real reason or initiative to, and Rashad as well. So Rashad White, Mondre, Charbonnet, and then Chubb when he plays. Those are the players I'm looking to move as fast as I can. And depending on how you feel about Richardson, he may be a running back to you. So that may be a tear down situation. But I don't know if your league is going to be willing to do it. But I would be targeting that if your team's not going well.
Think about Ramondre, and I mean, I've liked him for more than half the time, I think, in his career. Man, he does wear down. He just does. I just don't see Ramondre as a guy like, I'm trying to think of somebody else, like James Conner, who's still balling. Like, I kind of see him falling off a cliff kind of quickly. Bigger dudes do, not every time, but they do tend to, when they fall off kind of quickly. I could see Ramondre having another good year, 2 years. I don't know. I mean, I know he's not that old, but man, he, again, just think back to his history. He wears down as the season progresses. So I would argue that he will wear down in general as the years pile up, and they're starting to pile up. Andrew, Olave, Irving, or K9. Who's K9 again?
That would be Ken Walker.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did. Okay. Yeah, I missed the memo on that one. So Olave, Irving for K9. Is this an overpay? I mean, I liked K9 this year. I didn't even know his nickname was K9. Okay, and I liked him.
Not that dog.
I did. He does. I mean, I've always said, look, I mean, the guy's ridiculous, but he bounces, and there's some issues there. He's volatile. He's a little volatile, but I mean, I've always said, like, the guy, I always describe it as he teleports on the field. So I am a movement guy. I am a creator guy. I like guys who create on their own. It just didn't, he never really fully clicked with me as a prospect, but, I understood why people liked him, and I think I was probably not totally wrong on being somewhat critical of him. But this year I was in. So I think he's a needle moving guy, but you just can't totally trust him. So I guess it's fair. Can we say it's fair? I think that's fair. Yeah. Let's move on here. Jay Prague. You're welcome, Jay Prague. Any RB2 or RB3 on teams that you're keeping an eye on for the middle of the season? Yeah. A lot of it has to do with, will the starter get hurt? Like Ray Davis. Does James Cook go down? Very interested in Ray Davis. Roshan keeps getting dicked around. But I still don't believe in DeAndre Swift. I mean, it's kind of like we are what we are at this point. So it's hard to say, like, oh, here's a sleeper for the second half of the season. It's like, I don't know. Audric Estime. He's currently on IR. But Didn't they just bring in someone? I'm like, damn. Let me look at the depth chart. I could have sworn. Um, well, no. What am I missing here? There's somebody else for in play there for Denver that they looked at. I was like, wow.
I believe that
Can't
was
remember.
Tyler
Maybe it was
Batty
just no,
or
no.
Bidet.
Bidet. It's bidet. No, it was somebody else that I think because of that injury they were looking at another running back. But neither here nor there. Audric Estime is a good one because once he's back, and I haven't upped. I don't know where he is, but I know he's got to be coming off that soon, right? I mean, what is the deal with Audric Estime? Do you know, Tommy?
I know that he went on the IR, which means I'm immediately buying in Dynasty. As for the extent of the injury, I don't have that offhand, but I can find it.
I mean, I think he's eligible to come off, but he's not off. I think is what it is. Let's see here. Broncos made the call to sideline Estime for at least 4 games. Okay, right. Okay, meaning he won't be back before week 6. Okay. Doesn't need surgery. Yeah, I would Audric Estime. I'd get him every league, stash him. That's it. He's probably going to be the guy down the stretch. They drafted him. They inherited Javonte, and Peyton loves working in. I mean, Tyler Bidet, for God's sakes, is out there. Hopefully he's good to go. But yeah, Audric Estime is a good one.
Let's go pedal ankle sprain. A pedal ankle sprain for Estime. 4 to 5 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, always worried about ankles. Yeah, I've heard the pedal thing before too. Yeah. I can't remember if it's like scary. I don't think it's scary bad.
It doesn't seem like it.
Joseph says you got to move back to New Jersey to avoid the storms. That is true. Our boy Rashad White or Trey Sermon if JT is out. Well, what is the total in this game? Because, I mean, Rashad, again, there's another guy that we're pushing down our depth chart. We drafted him as a 2. Now he's our flex. I mean, that's it. He's not dead, but reality is striking him here a little bit. I think he kind of lost a little bit of juice, building his body up and all that. And Bucky Irving is just better. He's just better. We have a total of 43, nothing great. We've got Tampa. They're a favorite, which I probably at this point want them to be underdogs for Rashad. But, I'd probably still go with Rashad because, it's one thing to be desperate and like, oh my God, what do I do? Oh, wait. Oh, thank God, Trey Sermon. At least he's getting 15 touches. But it's another thing to overextend on a guy like Sermon and start him over an established guy. So how many times does the fill-in starter bite us? It kind of does. I know Charbonnet a couple of weeks ago was really good, but more often than not, you got lucky if you went with Cam Akers a couple of weeks ago. He scored. You got lucky with that. More often than not, it seems like these guys kind of come up small. So it's very tempting. Pete he's desperate for a win. Can't decide between Caleb and Baker. Oh, I'll decide for you. It's Baker. FP early. Wicks or Pickens in a PPR. Don't love Pickens this week. Yeah, I still got to go Pickens, though. I mean, he's the guy, and Wicks, sexy. You never know, though. They got a couple of tight ends they throw to, bunch of receivers. I'm going to go Pickens. Do you do single props or do you parlay that? I don't do any damn props, unfortunately. I'm not a big gambling person. I'm not a big parlay person. So I'm a picks person. I'm just focusing in on getting good picks, making good picks. But I'll tell you what, though, Fatty, if you went and bet $1 million on my top 20 props last week, you're up like 1.7 mil. Actually, no. 17.7 mil. You're up $17 million, Fatty. Why weren't you out there betting $1 million on every one of my top 20 props on the site last week that went 18-2? But no, all I care about is making the correct individual picks. We have other people on the site who do those parlay deals, not just me. So I just let me get the pick right. That's it. I don't want to be a hero and then parlay that up. No, I just let me get the damn pick right and let me have a good winning percentage. That's it. That's all I'm going for. Let's go next to he needs 3. Tyreek, Higgins, Wicks, JSN, Jameson, Downs. Oh boy. Higgins, Jameson's off. So you're going to have to go Tyreek, Higgins, and Wicks there. So first week of getting lineup questions about dudes who are on a bye. Here we go. It's bye time. Andrew says try and trade Baker and Evans. I mean, I'm probably not trading Evans. I might be willing to trade Baker. I mean, he's a little a little over his skis right now in terms of his production and all that. Robert says, "Hey now." And I say, "Hey now." And we go next to BL. Hate that I have to ask, but do I sit Achan for the likes of Dowdle? No, I can't do it. Dowdle seems to be coming on. They're kind of seemingly phasing Zeke out. Like, who else are you using here, man? I mean, Dowdle is just not a needle mover. Like, I don't know. Cowboys are so effed. They're not going anywhere. Mike Zimmer stinks. Their defensive coordinator. Let's go next to needs 2 this week from Kittle, Ferguson, and Tank Dell. I'm going to go with those 2 tight ends. Poor Tank. Tank's been skank. Let's be honest. Tank has been skank. Maybe we can turn it around. Burrow or Daniels this week? I'm going Burrow there. Daniels has been crushing, but it's not the greatest matchup. Should I trade Dobbins for Bowers? Yeah. I mean, Adams is going to be out of there. Oh, yeah. And have Pitts a tight end. The worst. McDaniels is a hack, says Greg. Is that Mike McDaniel? Okay. I mean, he might be a little one-dimensional. He might be a little all up in his head and trying a little too hard to be the smartest guy in the room kind of a thing. Adam, should I start Watson or Lawrence? I'm starting Lawrence over Watson for sure. Brent asks, would you trade DJ Moore for Deontay Johnson and Hunt? Yeah. If I needed a running back, I would, because DJ Moore is, and Deontay's probably better than DJ Moore in terms of production. Who's a better player? It's close. Real close. But I'm probably I like that. Yeah. I mean, if you need a running back, I mean, Kareem Hunt might just be like a rental player, but Deontay and DJ Moore are very comparable. Next up here, Gabrielle, 10-team PPR. Do I trade Debo Connor for Evans Montgomery? No. My running backs are Kyron Williams, Kenneth Walker, Connor Madison. No. St. Brown, Debo. No. I mean, Debo Connor is more powerful league-winning combination, whereas Evans and Montgomery is you can win a league with them, but those aren't like maybe Evans championship pieces. You know what I mean? Like you can win with them for sure, obviously. But Debo Connor feel a little bit more foundational toward a championship, if you will. I mean, Connor has actually crushed it down the stretch. He's been a league winner the last 2 years, believe it or not. I wasn't in, unfortunately, because I'm an ageist. Trade Pittman for Pacheco. I mean, I don't know where Pacheco is going to be when he returns, though. But I'm definitely into trading Pittman while I can because it looks like AR is going to play. Start Kyler or Justin Fields? I'm going Kyler there. Pretty good schematic matchup. Greg, should I drop Khalil Herbert for Garendo? Why not? Herbert's seemingly worthless. I don't think any teams are lining up to trade for him. Andrew, play Baker Thursday or wait and see word on AR if he doesn't go. Play Flacco or Lawrence. Ooh. Yeah, I'd probably go Baker. Probably not going to go off, but I'd probably go Baker. Crazy to trade Tyreek for Stephon Diggs. Yeah, I think so, because we only might need 2 more games before Tua's back. So I'm probably not going to do that. Mark says drop Demarcus Robinson for Leggett. Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. God, yeah. God, yeah. Leggett looks good, man. He could be, he will be the second most targeted receiver. Now, again, I guess they'll get Thielen back, but maybe Thielen is tested positive for Geritol. Let's go next here. Non-PPR, Lazar, Shakir, or Javonte Williams. Probably, don't love Shakir. He did get a little nicked up there. Yeah, I think I'm going with Shakir. Come on, he's kicking ass, unless he's iffy to play. Drop a Dunze for Wicks, Hunt, Downs, Wandale. If you need a running back, sure, for Hunt. But if you don't necessarily need it, I probably wouldn't want to do that. I'd be all right doing the Wicks or Dunze deal. When in doubt, look at the quarterback, obviously. Wicks is crushing with Jordan Love. Jordan Love's crushing. So, yeah. I tried to. I'm going to get things wrong for sure. I undersold Michael Thomas, but I thought Adunze's ADP was absurd all year. I'm like, give me a break, people. What are we doing here? And even though Keenan Allen's hurt, granted, I didn't think Caleb would suck like he sucked. MK. I have full PPR. I don't get that question. Sorry, MK. Maybe this helps. Will I use? Still not reading that right, MK. Sorry. Dylan, would you trade Henry for Brian Robinson and Pollard? Other running backs are Swift and Sermon. Man, Brian Robinson's been doing really well. He is good. He was on my list. Pollard was not. Nah, I just can't do it because, Henry is a weekly winner guy and a league winner guy right now. I'm not doing it. Mark picked up Baker and Geno with Richardson. Who would you drop? It's waste to carry 3. You can't. I don't know. Go week to week with it. Look at the schedule because Baker and Geno are very comparable. I guess I'd drop Geno at this point. Baker is outproducing him. You can't drop Richardson, though. Can we drop Rice now? Really need the roster spot. Why are the Chiefs holding us hostage? No IR spot. Like, if he's doubtful or out on most platforms, you're going to IR him. Yeah, I probably would drop him. It's one of those deals like, okay, he miraculously returned for week 16. But what are they doing there? Probably just ramping him up for the playoffs, all that. So, yeah, I'm all right. Fields or Love this week. I'm going to go Love. Pitts or Komet this week. Let's see here. Freaking Pitts. Unbelievable. Tampa, not the greatest matchup. It's sad. Are we really going Komet over Pitts? Let me see here what Carolina's giving up real quick. Yeah, we are. Komet caught 5 balls against them last year for 45, not too shabby, and they're giving up 5 grabs a game for 42, and they've given up a couple of tutties. So we are, in fact, doing that. Do it for spite at the very least. Fields or Love, we answered that. Make this trade or no. Give Kupp, Godwin, and Madison for Garrett, Wilson, Kirk, and Hunt. Yeah, I like that. Don't think Kupp stays healthy after he comes back. No, I don't. I didn't think Kupp was going to stay healthy last year. I didn't think he was going to stay healthy this year. And I still don't think he's going to stay healthy because he's not currently healthy. Jeffrey, would you trade Brian Robinson for a 2025 mid to late first in Dynasty 10 team? Seems like a good deal, generally speaking. Brian Robinson is young, but that definitely seems like you'll have I know this is not looking like a great draft class. Thomas, what do you think here, Tommy?
So in the Superflex trade tier chart that you can access at the Fantasy Points Discord, I have him listed as a 2 seconds, which in Superflex I would liken it to a first in single QB. It's 10 team. I'm taking it.
Okay. All right. Next up here,
would you start? Defense question. I'm not really your defense person anymore. Pats, Dolphins, Falcons, or Panthers? Not the Falcons against Baker, even though they've got protection issues and a short week. Dolphins haven't really been doing much. I think they had a good week 1, but you do have New England there. I'll go Dolphins. New England O-line kind of stinks. And the quarterback play is not good, obviously. Dave, no, I have no news on Njoku or Bijan. Wednesday morning is really bad. Fields or Burrow. Armando, should I trade Jalen Hurts for Jordan Love? Man, can you get just a little more? Because I think most people out there right now would rather be on that Hurts side. I would do it though. It's a little risky, but I would do it. Vibes are not Jalen Hurts is not playing well. Very bad vibes. I would do it. But I mean, I'd first see if you can get a little bit more. Just because, again, like Love was a 7th round pick, Hurts was a 3rd round pick. Difference in capital there, perception, all that. I think the perception is still Hurts over Love. Greg, Chase Brown or Ford, and do you know when Chubb is coming back? Well, I mean, he's ramping up. Don't know. Why risk it? Why rush it? They're freaking dumpster fire anyway. Well, I guess that's why you would risk it. Well, are we talking this week or the season? I'm still going Chase Brown over Ford, over Chubb in for this week, obviously, and for the season. Daniels or Murray? I'm going Daniels. Trying to get through as many as I can here. We already went longer than expected. Full PPR in America. If JT misses time, Sermon, Chase Brown, or Justice Hill? I mean, I'm probably going Chase Brown. I mean, Sermon's margin for error isn't great. He's been locked into the 2 for a while, but they got Goodson. I'm not totally sold. I mean, I've said that Sermon is the guy to get, obviously, but I'm not totally sold that he's locked in. Like it might be a little fluid. So I'd probably go Chase Brown still. Love or Geno this week? Love. And with that, we'll wrap it here. Thank you for tuning in. Hump Day with Hansen, another one in the books. We went an hour and 12 minutes. Okay, well, that's a little less than normal. We did answer all the questions, and we did also get into the schematic matchup. So if you are looking to kill some time today and you missed the beginning of this broadcast, I spent, I think, 20 minutes going through all the matchups for week 5 in terms of the schematics and how they're looking. So we'll sign it off here. We thank Tommy T for producing this here jam. Stay tuned for all the great content here on the site. I'll be back doing the live stream with Graham and Brett tomorrow night ahead of Thursday Night Football and Week 5. We'll catch you next time here at FantasyPoints.com.
What? Why are you shaking your head?
You're welcome.